What happened to the girl that got pregnant in your high school? I think they all did well. I had the uncommon experience of being segregated in high school into the teen pregnancy center along with the other Jewish kid. The other kid's parents pulled them and he got a GED, but my mom made me go to prove I could do it. I graduated half a year early too. All of those girls in my classes did pretty well from what I can tell. None of us are invited to the HS reunion, so there isn't really any way for me to check now, but when I was in my 20s I saw a few of them land good jobs. I left the deadbeat who groomed me into getting pregnant and lied to me. Hess got 2 more kids now, living the high life. He's now 12 and just a good person, and he's happy. I have a decent job and a great relationship. We're okay. Could be better. Wish I had been older, because I never wanted kids and still don't. But he's here and I love him. But never again will I have another. We feel more like brother and sister, we actually talk about stuff and feelings. It's nice. We're so close in age it is odd. We didn't have that issue at my high school, but I do know someone who got pregnant sophomore year of college. She dropped out at the end of the semester, had the baby, took care of it for a few months until she could re-enroll, finished the degree, and is now doing very well, working for a lab and co-parenting with the father. Her daughter's about 4 or 5 now, and they do fun outdoorsy things like camping, hiking, and paddleboarding all the time. Anyone would be lucky to have her as a parent. She didn't end up with the guy she got pregnant with in high school, but married a different guy when her daughter was maybe 3 or 4? And then they had 3 children. She posts a ton of mommy blog type content on Facebook and Instagram. And lots of mom's night out posts. Her first child is her spitting image and quite adorable. The other 3 kids look like her husband and are nowhere near as cute. I guess a second guy was the guy for her, but the genes don't agree as much. A few weeks after HS graduation, she married the guy, her BF, who got her pregnant. A few weeks afterwards, he joined the army and they together embarked on the most amazing adventure. Over the years, they've bounced from Alaska, Germany, Japan and a few posts in the US. They raised an amazing young man as their son. Today, her hubby has retired from the army after 25 years of service to his country. They retired to Alaska and they're traveling the US and Canada. Wasn't really high school, but first years of university. She got pregnant by a slightly older guy, they got married. They are still married and now have 4 children. She is a stay-at-home mom. They live in the suburbs and have a farm, though her husband and parents are well off. So she just creates handmade stuff as a hobby for sale and takes care of the kids. Seems like they are happy and really value their big family. My experience was from 6th grade, so not high school. She was 10 when she got pregnant and 11 when she gave birth. Her mom basically raised the baby because what 11-year-old is capable of raising a child. By the time she was 23 she had 6 kids by 5 different guys. I have no clue why her mom didn't put her on birth control after the first baby, because she had 2 more in high school. She also became a grandma at 26. She was a major party girl and had issues with her baby's father. Fast forward 5 years, her and the father have worked things out and he's involved in the child's life. They have a house out of state together, and despite all of the challenges she pursued her dream to become a nurse, and is absolutely thriving in life. We don't talk much anymore, but I'm so proud of her, and have always silently rooted for her. Nothing. She's doing fine now. I think she went into engineering. She was in grade 7 and it was just kids messing around as far as I know. Her parents made her get an abortion. This was rural India. Children out of wedlock is so extremely taboo. There is no question of having the child. I absolutely cannot imagine a teenager here having a child. You do not get to choose to keep it. Beautiful girl. Honors student. Involved in activities. Fell for and got pregnant by another friend of mine twice. 2 abortions senior year. Went to a good college next state over and stripped her way through. Went to a good law school. Graduated. Working as a lawyer still. Got married to another lawyer and has 2 beautiful girls both in high school now. I miscarried. Was accused of getting an abortion instead. I held my child's lifeless tiny body in my hands. Got a tattoo to remember her. I'm a high school graduate. I work 911 dispatch. Just had her birthday. Going to college, and EMT school at the same time. I'm married. My life has been okay. Still wonder what it would be like to have an almost 8-year-old. She got pregnant junior and senior year. She had 1 or 2 more by the time she was 20. She seemed happy and I believe she went into nursing. Her kids have probably moved out and are gone to college by now. Meanwhile we're the same age and I'm about to go untangle my 2-year-old from the Christmas tree, smiley face. Well, I was in high school when MTV's Teen Mom first aired, so every other girl in my school was pregnant. I'm not even joking. Like I'd the exact number of students we had, but if 200 were girls, then at least 100 were pregnant or already had a kid. I know a few that had multiple kids with multiple men. She was my ex. My best friend at the time was the one that knocked her up at 16. 15 years later they're still together. They've got 4 kids now I think, and last I heard the now husband just graduated law school. All in all I'm really happy for them, it seems like everything worked out. Married to their dad, after a few challenging years they are now still happily married with 3 older children and living their best life with heaps of freedom, while all the high school friends are now in the depths of little kid chaos. No one expected it, but definitely a success story. She got pregnant 3 more times with 3 different men before she was 20 and now lives on welfare without a job, eating up taxpayer dollars, faking a disability because she doesn't want to work, and admitted that to my wife while she was drunk at the bar she frequents almost every day. She was my ex, hadn't spoken in a year, but in senior year she got preggers and then miscarried, and decided the first time we should talk in a year was her informing me she miscarried someone else's baby, not me. Lol. I was like, bro, why are you bringing this up with me? That was me. I moved into the projects at 17 and worked while putting myself through undergrad. Graduated, moved, went to graduate school and finally moved into our forever home in 2018. My daughter is almost 18 and is planning for med school. It was a rough journey. One that sticks out was the white girl who accidentally got pregnant by her black boyfriend. Her father was a huge grower of grain and wildly racist. From what I know, the baby got adopted by the football coach and she's been strung out on drugs since high school. I had my son, went back to school and finished year 12, got 2 diplomas and a bachelor's degree, and work in hearing support for students in primary and high school. My son is now almost a teenager and consent has been a big topic of conversation all his life. Her mom had her at 16 and she was pregnant at the same age. With hindsight I think that gave her an advantage. Her youngest is 15 and she's been with the same guy ever since. They live happily in California. He's a Navy lifer and she works at the post office. She graduated, and a few years later got married to a different guy and had more kids. And then her firstborn, while we were in high school, got pregnant at the same age. She also graduated and later married the dad. She seems to be doing fine, as well. She was supposed to join the military and got rejected, ended up in jail, not sure why, and now I think she moved and raises her kids somewhere else. We were acquaintances in high school but pretty much lost touch after I graduated and went to college. I was that girl in my school, smiley face. I'm doing great, finished college and got married 5 years ago, not to baby daddy, and had my second child. 10 years apart. Lol, it was hard, but I thankfully had a very supportive family, otherwise I wouldn't have made it. She went on to have a difficult life, harder than most, due to her poor decision making. She aged faster than others, was offered fewer opportunities in life, and unable to pursue character building interests during formative years. Don't have kids. She got married with a guy she got pregnant with. They are together for 22 years, happy? At least she says so, and quite rich. This guy has some trade company and she is helping him. She also has multiple plastic surgeries and is very slim. She was pregnant at 13, so she was understandably very stressed and stopped going to school for a while. But eventually came back. She graduated like 7 years ago and is married and has 3 kids total now. She's doing pretty good and I'm happy for her. Got married when the spring before her graduation. She had her baby that summer and he began working as a lineman while she stayed home, and they had 2 more kids and owned their own home long before most of us. Fucking trades, man. Doing great, according to social media. She married the guy she had the kid with and he's got a good job in security and she stays home with their kids. They had 2 more. She sells crafts and bakes bread at a local co-op in the area. She was my personal trainer for a while. She had another baby daddy since then, married and divorced both baby daddies, and is a wonderful mom. She has endured a lot of trauma and sounds like she is finally in a good spot mentally. It was primary school and my classmate. She got into prostitution. Later it was revealed that she was abused by her dad. But she recovered. Her daughter is 12 years her junior and they look like sisters. I saw them at a reunion. Which one? My first high school we had 70-ish students. 8 of the senior girls were pregnant. My senior year I went to a school with 5K students. There were a ton who were pregnant. Some got to bring their babies into class. A girl I went to school with got pregnant at 13. and gave birth after she turned 14. Basically her parents raised her child, as she was a kid herself. She got married later and had more kids. She was bullied a lot in HS. Genetically, she's been very successful. She went on to have 3 more children and now has at least 7 grandchildren at the age of 43. Species-wise, she is a prime example of the way too much intelligence is a hindrance. It was a girl I used to be friends with and she was also a bully of mine. I might have been a little happy about it since she was so horrible to me. She ended up marrying the guy and they now have 2 kids together. They are all single mothers now, most with at least 2 kids from different fathers. One had all her kids taken by CPS but keeps having more, just to have them taken, too. I think she is on number 5 last I checked. Christian school, so they made her have the baby. Ruined her life. She would have been a serious college athlete. Her boyfriend was a total fuckboy who immediately knocked up another girl at a different school. I was trying to be cool or something stupid AF, and I threw an unopened milk carton off of the balcony into the cafeteria during lunch. It hit this pregnant girl right in the face and burst all over her. She married the teacher that got her pregnant. He's only slightly younger than her parents. Always seemed to have more in common with him than her. They have 2 kids now, and appear to still be together. She was a sophomore, he was a senior. Had the baby, stayed together and got married. Had 3 more kids and the baby just graduated from college. They run a successful business together in my hometown. She had another one 2 years later and now has 2 children under 4 before the age of 20. She's determined that her current boyfriend and father to both will be the love of her life. I wish her well.